We have to work with other bosses to get this up fast. We have to threaten a lot of these lazy bastards, and he looks at the mutant, the grunts that are doing stuff.
The
We have to
grunts
threaten a lot
are
of these lazy bastards.
sweating, exhausted, still
Oh yeah,
lifted stuff.
drenched in sweat, working faster than you could possibly ask anybody to do, just dragging things off, singing their grunt songs about working super hard, and like not being appreciated by anybody. But yeah, these lazy
I'm like
bastards.
they're going, hi ho.
Hi ho, hi
Yeah.
ho, it's off to old fences we go. Except much sadder songs like hi ho, hi ho, no one treats me right.
Oh
Anyway, so yeah, they're
no,
doing that.
oh
Oh,
no, it's off to build our
they'll beat me
fence.
if I don't go. Anyway, so yeah. So yeah. Right, okay. So they've went to find them. That seems dangerous. Why would they do that?
You know, I didn't ask them. They just sort of took off.
Interesting. Okay, right. Well, so they've went off to investigate some incredibly dangerous people with no backup, and we don't know where they've gone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which one of you is the smart one? I'm gonna guess you.
In some ways.
Right. Okay. I'm sure they'll do some recon and then come back. I'm sure they wouldn't be daft enough to pick a fight with a giant gang of slavers.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm sure at least they've got all their mutations, so they'll be able to get away fast. Anyway, that's fine. Okay, right. Well, that's fine. Okay.
Oh, it's the sweat slightly.
Yeah, I should have put up more of a fight to this. Right, well, me and you will go and get something to eat while these lazy bastards get this all done. Work starts tonight and goes through the night, and then you'll get your grub in the morning. Okay, so keep moving. And he shouts over face. Face, make sure they're doing what they're paid for. And we'll start at the front of the gates and we'll work our way around. Maybe go and grab a gearhead or two and see if they can help put up the fence. Go to the Dawn Vault and speak to name I will remember in a second. to Hanneth and see if she's willing to give us some help for doing this. Maybe even go and speak to O'Brien and see if he's got any of these guys to help. Right, I want a word with you, Gray. More inside. He takes you inside. Do you want a drink?
Yes, water, please.
Looks he's like, what? Okay. Goes to a fridge. A fridge is not plugged in. It's more of a unit for storing things. Opens up and hands you. It's like, right. I seen you investigating the trailer. Do you know who made it?
Oh yeah, it's got a Spanish mark all over it.
I thought you'd realise that. Have you told anyone?
Maybe some people? I don't remember, actually.
Just your group then. Okay. That's fine. Have you ever found a battery in your travels?
One of these.
Right, okay, good.
Gray's just like, here you go, Hannibal, here's everything you need for your plan.
Look, he's just... Look, this makes sense because he's just asked me who I've told.
Oh no, I understand, I'm just
Okay,
laughing.
I'll just do the thing you like. There you go.
If it makes you, his hand's nowhere near his weapon at this point. Right, come here. Go downstairs, I've got something to show you. Come to this darkened basement. I've got something
Don't
to show
do it,
you.
Mary. Don't do it.
I mean, I'm all for basements.
Dear
but
Spanner, you're now his prisoner with him. You're his cellmate.
As you're saying that, you do notice that there's two other enforcers in the room with you. Boone is there, and so is Manny. Sorry, not Manny. Dirk. Dirk's not an enforcer. Dirk's a retired stalker. He was one of the slightly older mutants in the arc who used to go out ranging, and after receiving some horrible injuries, he's doesn't go out as much anymore. He's only got one leg. He walks with a crutch and a kind of a prosthetic, which is effectively a table leg that was cut to size and attached to his leg. Yeah, he has one eye, and he's got like a bandage around it that's just really there so no one can see the horrible mess of his face. But they motion you to kind of follow him.
It's like,
If only Richard was there to go.
okay.
Sorry, it makes life
Okay,
easier for me.
basement sounds good. Yeah, okay.
He looks at you and kind of like he kind of smiles like you're not in any danger. Well, not in much danger. You've been a big help to us. What you've done here is going to put me. I've basically sent out a team and came back and delivered. You're a hero of the Ark. I'm going to be leader of the Ark. Leaders need heroes to do their dirty work. So come on. And he takes you down the stairs, and they're quite substantial. They go down a bit deeper than you expect. This isn't just like a shallow basement where you keep like some tins of paint. It's like quite expansive. Like, oh, this must have been used for holding something. And it takes you down, and it's a wide open space. And it looks like this is used as a sleeping area for the guys that work with Hannibal. There's a concrete room off to one side with a metal door and some bars on it. And then towards the back room is a massive area that has double doors on it. I'm sure we'll be back in a moment. Now, as you come down the stairs, you notice a face kind of pop up. It doesn't get right to the top of the door, but you notice like a little snout kind of pops out and then pops back. Now, you would recognise that Spanner, but he doesn't say anything, and Hannibal doesn't even look over. He takes you towards the door, and he points to it and says, "This is why I've been looking for a battery." And on the door it just says emergency supplies. It's a large metal door, and it's got some kind of complicated electronics beside it, which you can see somebody's been working on. But being a gearhead, you know the missing components here. Missing components, battery. There's some kind of electronic locking system built into this, and it needs to be installed to open this.
Oh.
This is why I've been looking for a battery. Didn't want anyone to know about it, but I think now's the time. As one of the saviours of the Ark, and me as one of the leaders of the Ark, I think they'll overlook a kidnapping. Who cares about a kidnapping? We kill each other every day. If you get this open for me, there's a place for you by my side. You be head gearhead. You can be leader of the gearheads. You can call yourself queen of the gearheads for all I care. Lead engineer. There you go. But we need this open. And that's what you do notice his hand does straight towards his gun. I want you to run to work with me.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. Well, you must be tired. When you get your head down, you can start work in the morning. I'll make sure you get a good breakfast. And the camera pans out and zooms back into our friends. Now, the night passed. Without anything eventful, Alf stood watch, and then the rest of us took a turn. Mutants don't need a whole hell of a lot of sleep, and as soon as the sunlight starts creeping in, you just wait for it to get to rise, and some of the kind of scarier denizens of the Ark make a lot less noise. There's no kind of weird barking noises or howls or weird kind of noises, and nothing's eating you. You have a location in mind. Do you want to continue heading towards it? He
Yep.
says to Flare, Dodger, Bogger, and Ulf.
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay, absolutely fine. So yeah, you traverse the distance. You knew exactly where you're going. You are trying to stay off the road. Now at this point, you do keep hearing noises. Sometimes it's what you recognise as engine sounds, and other times it's screams. And other
That's not
times,
good.
and then one time you hear a fucking loud. It's weird because you hear like a whistling noise going through the other. You see some smoke kind of drift off. It's not precisely where you're going, but that was weird. In the distance, so you do see a large kind of monolithic shape. Dark, but there's lights over it. One might recognise them as spotlights. It's a couple of miles out though. But you've noticed that the sound of thunder, which you recognise as onions, is engines, rises and lowers, but there's something going on over there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep going.
Is everyone going?
I think I'll stay back and be like, listen, Let me know what you find.
Let me know if you
Of
die
course.
by not coming back. So,
Players, players
I
going,
will.
I'm going.
Right.
I'll go.
So 3 is
I'll
going.
go. I'll stay with Bogart instead.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. So you two stay
I'm,
back.
I'm only doing it because my stealth fucking sucks ass.
Absolutely fine. What I'll say is that you know where the road is, and again, every now and again there is small structures you can go and hide behind. There's things you like, roads drop off of it. So you can just go and sit down on a path and just stay there. This isn't a game where we're going to make you roll a sneak check every time you want to go and hide behind a wall. Of course you can. So you can do that. You can just sit and chat. But the main two, Alf's going, Flair's going, Dodger. Are you not going, or are you going?
Nah, I'm staying with Bogart.
Okay, so you're just sitting there playing with your dog, and Bogart's just talking your ear off about why you should be a capitalist. Now, you get closer, and of course the noise gets louder. There is like a raised area that you could go up if you want to try and get a top-down view, or you can approach it head on. You can try and do a wide circle and come around from the back. How would you like to do this? If you were doing this, how would you
Maybe
like to accomplish such a task? So I'm not saying the other thing.
Hmm.
Bit wordy.
maybe get a view from like a higher point, like you just said. Maybe try that first.
Absolutely fine. Right now, how are you doing this? Are you just going to go up to the high bit and hope nobody sees you, or do you just want to start doing some sneak rolls? Sneak, not stealth.
Definitely doing some sneak.
Now, as I have learned, you cannot share these rolls. However, depending on how well you roll, I'll see how I want to do it. So, who's doing sneaky sneak? Are you using any special skills? What are you doing?
I'm 2
Flair.
successes on sneak.
Flair's particularly stealthy.
Why is that not working? Be working? Have I just crashed? What? What's happened?
I can roll it for you if you want.
Please.
Oh, you got 2 as well. Motherfucker. Okay, that's been much better if you said roll poorly. Okay, cool. So yeah, right. So use crawl. Use beeline off the side of the track and use find a kind of raised area that's looking down on this. The road did kind of go down into an area. It's like a sheltered area. And you just go up the hill and you just look down, and what you see before you is indeed some kind of vehicle storage facility. Um, Looking down, you see a lot of movement. There's a large fence around it, not quite a security fence, but a well maintained fence that looks like they've maybe built it themselves. It's like large bits of wood and metal have been pushed in the ground, and then razor wire put around about it. The building itself isn't as big as the Ark, but it is multi-story. There's probably about 8 stories on it. You can see on the roof of it what looked like how do you describe it? Like a cauldron. You'd recognize a cauldron and a barrel that's got objects on either side of it and some kind of mechanisms and about it. There is volunteers in rags working at the outside of the building
Oh,
itself. They are digging holes. They are putting up barriers, spikes in the ground. You also see some of these people are being impaled on the spikes. Some are dressed in regular clothes. Some look like volunteers, and some are dressed in ways you've never seen before. There's one that's dressed in kind of robes and has an abnormally large head that is just lying limp on the large spikes. There's only one road into this, and to go around the side, you could go around the side, but there's no obvious road in from the back. It seems to split off and then go back onto the main area, onto the main road.
Okay.
It's unclear what this was originally built for, but it looks like it was built to be kind of hidden and to store a lot of vehicles. You also see large kind of rectangular boxes that you see hell drivers come in and out of. there is multiple vehicles. Quick count, 20, maybe 30. And then you
Shit.
see multiple vehicles that are in various states of disrepair, kind of dotted around the back. There's no telling how many are on the floors of the
To get the
storage facility
notes
itself.
started written.
But yeah, this is
Okay.
a fairly busy settlement, and it looks like there's a reason they didn't agree to leave. It looks like people that try to leave or do wrong face some kind of pretty horrific punishment.
Yeah. Ulf, I think it's best we go back now. This is not a good idea.
Do they have any
Sure.
idea of the numbers of people or mutants there?
You can absolutely do that, yeah. Even without a rule.
He's
There's
not there.
I meant for you too. Even though I'm not going to make you roll to like try and count. I mean, they've gone up there specifically to spy on them and see what they've
Yeah.
got. More vehicles than you expected to see. You see, it's hard to gauge numbers because those boxes probably have got people inside them, but easily 30, 40 volunteers. They're easier to spot because they're dressed in the rags. They've got the kind of weird bags over the head. They've clearly got almost like a uniform for the volunteers, so they know. And you see they're treated horrifically if they're not doing something fast enough, or just sometimes when hell drivers walk by, they just smack them with kind of like brutal looking weapons. As for the hell drivers, you see them tearing around on the dirt bikes. You see them working the cars. They appear to be big burly bastards. A lot of them are just taking big long swigs out of large jugs, and then some are showing signs of mutation, much like your own. You see a couple spitting fire. Um, and yeah, there's easily more than 60 hell drivers.
Hmm. Uh, where are they filling up their vehicles? Are they filling them up in the place?
It's not obvious at first. How long do you want to spend watching?
Half an hour at most.
Okay. Um, Within that half hour, you don't see anyone filling up a vehicle, so to speak.
Mm.
You see them working on vehicles, um, but yeah, it's not obvious how they're filling them up. You want to spend some more time watching to see what happens?
I'll get another half hour, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In that next half hour, you see a vehicle, not the pickup truck that you've seen, but a
Mm.
different one. It looks more like it's bigger, thicker wheels by the side of it, and it has something much like the cauldron you've seen on the roofs of the building on the back, and it comes tearing in from the opposite direction that you have came, with two dirt bikes beside it, and a very, very large hell driver gets out of it. Long blonde hair,
Mm-hmm.
armored. From this distance, hard to tell whether it's a man or woman, but very like, Alf, you're big. This person's really fucking big.
Mm.
If it's the
Um,
leader, it'll be a woman because the guy mentioned it was a woman.
could be.
Could be, or it could
Um,
just be an enforcer.
could be any number of things, couldn't it? Who would know? Maybe you should try and get closer and find out. Maybe
No,
she's
no, no,
friendly.
no. Yeah.
Ooh,
To be
maybe
fair, with
they're
my
friendly.
manipulate roll, I could probably marry her.
Is there,
It's okay, her vision is based on movement.
yeah.
Um, what I'd say is that as you're watching, you see as soon as they tear in, she just slides to halt, actually knocking down one of the volunteers and just parks on top of them, gets out, and you see her just kind of like do something. You're not sure what she done, but she appeared to raise her leg and then stamp it down, and then walks on. Immediately, some other volunteers drag something away and throw it in a pit, and then others come up and they have these large kind of canisters on their shoulder, and they empty it into the back, and then they run back into the building, the main structure with the canisters. As you watch the large kind of individual walk back to the building, one of the hell drivers bumps into her.
Mm-hmm.
Then an altercation takes place, and you see her lift the individual above her head and slam him straight down onto a spike that's coming out of the ground.